Hello, everyone, and welcome to another video. And today I want to talk with you about why do you do the things you do? And it's a question that comes always into my mind often, and also between different periods in my life. And it is a question that I started to think myself in the past few years that really started resonate with me. And I was asking myself, why do I do the things I do? Whether it's routines, certain routines, whether it's smoking, I used to smoke, whether it's drink more often and every weekend or almost every day, this is what I used to do, or doing drugs or going out to parties, or whatever you can think of. It can be also some stuff that you think that is valuable to you, like reading, doing sports, whatever. Why do you do the things you do? you know and this video is going to be like a general encouraging to start and thinking about that thing, the reason behind you do everything you do from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep, because it affected really in a positive way on my life in the recent few years and the way I look at things. And let's go back 4 years ago. 4 years ago I just first arrived to Europe, and I didn't really have a routine or whatever, but I had a certain way of living. I was weighing a lot more. This is how is with me in my life. I'm just going up and down the weight a lot, but when I don't have like a structure, like a really routine to myself, then I tend to gain a lot more weight. And when I arrived to Europe, I think I was like maybe 15 kilos more of what I am now, maybe 10 kilos more. But it is a pretty substantial amount. And I also didn't have the amount of muscle, so I was more that I have now. So I was more fat. I had more fat, and I was smoking back then. I was smoking cigarettes. I was smoking weed, and I was drinking more often. Almost every time I was meeting friends, we would also drink. Whether it's beers, whether it's vodka, or whatever. Maybe a little bit hard liquor. But at some point in my 4 years in Europe, I live here for 4 years, and this is also something that came to my mind because I live by myself. I don't live next to my childhood friends. My childhood friends. I don't live next to my parents. I don't live next to my brother and sister. And suddenly I needed to take care of myself. And at some point, after drinking a lot, after smoking a lot, after almost every day, smoking, I used to smoke like 6 cigarettes, 7 cigarettes, and for some it's not a lot, but for me it was a lot. 6, 7, maybe 10 cigarettes a day for like 2 years maybe, and also drinking and such. And I was asking myself, why do I do that? I smoke, and every time I smoke, my lungs feel like shit. I feel like those tiny itching in my lungs. Like I need to itch, but I cannot because it's like inside. It didn't feel good. I just felt shitty the whole day. I couldn't do any sport because then again I felt it really hard. And I started thinking, why do I do this? And this is one example. I'm going to get to more examples later, but we just dove into this one, so let's continue with this one. But why do I smoke? On the other hand, smoking really made me open up to people. If I was in like a social event, or not even a social event, even on the street, if you want to go talk to a person, to a girl, to a guy you don't know, a cigarette is really a convenient way to start a conversation. And you also have like something in your hand. It gives you more confidence. It gives you more confidence to speak in a way. And there was like the positive thing that it gave me. But I was weighing it back then, and I thought to myself, is it really worth it? Does it really worth it? And also, I'm not talking about the long-term benefit, the long-term things that can hurt you when smoking cigarettes or doing other stuff, but I'm talking only on the immediate way I felt after smoking cigarette. And I used to wake up, I used to smoke. I used to eat, I used to smoke. I used to have a coffee. With a coffee, I have to smoke, I used to go to school, smoke. I used to, afternoon, eat again, smoke. If in the evening, I was going out, smoke. I'm sorry, my I kicked the camera. But then I asked myself, why do I do that? And I weigh all of the options and all of the reasons, not options, all of the reasons I was doing that thing. And eventually I came to conclusion that it's not worth it, for me. And this is only one aspect of it. And this is only one thing I was doing that I'm not doing anymore. Same goes for drinking. Same goes to partying a lot. Partying, I was also going out to parties and smoking and doing. I don't do drugs. I never did drugs, but drinking a lot, and then coming home, and then the next day I had a crazy hangover, and then the whole day is ruined because it's not like it used to be. When you were 16, you could handle a hangover, but now I'm almost 30. You cannot really do that, And those who are close to 30 knows what I'm talking about. But eventually your body cannot catch up with the hangover and whatever. And actually that's also something. Because as time goes by, you realize that you cannot get away with certain stuff that you once used to when you were younger, Whether it's staying up late, whether it's eating in the middle of the night like crazy, whether it's smoking a lot, whether it's drinking a lot and then hangover, doing drugs. The recovery is not the same. And I was starting to think about that, parties. I used to go out to parties with my friends, clubs and all of that. And I was finding myself chasing attention, chasing women, chasing attention from women. And I don't know, at some point it felt empty to me, And that's the reason I stopped going to parties regularly. I'm not saying I'm not going here and there with friends or like to friends' places or whatever, but regularly, on a regular basis. And there is a difference if you do something once in a while or if you do something on a regular basis, because the effect is so much bigger on a regular basis of that one thing you do. As I talked about in a different video, but if you smoke one cigarette once a week, it probably wouldn't ruin your lungs the same as if you would smoke like 10 a day, But who really smoke once a week, one cigarette a week? Or drugs, the same, But then you really have to be strong enough mentally to really put yourself the limit of once a week, once a month, whatever. And some people do, some people say once a month I go and I go to the club and I take a pill, It's okay, what works for you, but this has way less damage than if you would do it every day. And then I stopped with that as well, And on the other hand, I asked myself the counter question: what do I not do that can benefit my life? And this is the reason why I'm doing sports, or at least started. Today the reason is a bit different, but that's the reason why I started doing sports. And that's the reason why I started eating better, not eating junk food every day and snacks and whatever. Because of the immediate reaction it made me feel, It's really simple. It's really in my head. In my head, it was really simple. Like, if I do this, it makes me feel this. Do I like the outcome? If the answer is no, I stop doing it. I also talked about it in the first video I upload to this channel, I think. And it's about having no choice but to do certain things. And this is the equation I have in my head when I'm thinking about this stuff, I smoke. It gives me a certain energy, certain vibe, a certain feeling. Do I like this whole package after I smoke? Do I like this package of feelings? Do I like it? If the answer is no, then I'm not gonna do it. And this is and was the mindset that started to grow in my head, you know. Same goes for drinking every day, same goes to partying every day. Same goes to doing drugs. I'm not doing drugs, but maybe you can relate. And as I said, on the other hand, what can benefit my life that I'm not doing? So sports is one of them. Do I feel good after doing sports? You know, I'm going to the gym, I'm going on a run, I'm going to train, I'm moving my body, the blood is flowing. I feel alive, you know. Does it make me feel good? Do I like this package of feelings? If the answer is yes, then I'm going to keep doing it. I don't care about science behind it. I don't care if people tell me it's not healthy to train 6 times a week. I don't care, you know. It makes me feel good. Therefore, I'm going to continue doing it. And same goes for reading. You know, reading, I read and it makes me feel more intelligent. It makes me feel like I acquire more knowledge about certain stuff, you know. And overall, do I like what I get from it? Do I like what I benefit from it? And if the answer is yes, then you should keep doing it. And again, if you ask yourself like, okay, I like to smoke cigarettes and it does benefit my life, then good for you. Just keep doing it, you know. I'm not saying this might not be the case, but it wasn't the case for me, you know. It wasn't the case for me. And do you really feel good? It's also you really have to be true to yourself. You really have to be true to yourself about what you feel and about how you feel about those feelings. Because a lot of the times you can just deny the fact that it's not good for you by saying to yourself that you do feel good, you know, and it's worth it, you know. But does it really worth it? Be true to yourself. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, is this hangover really worth the fun I had yesterday or the day before or the day before? Does this feeling was worth the fun that I had after taking this pill in the club, you know? And same goes for cigarettes. Is this feeling of itching in my lungs worth it after I smoke the cigarette? If the answer is yes, but again, you need to be true to yourself. If the answer is yes, good for you. If the answer is no, then stop doing it. And this is what I was asking myself at one point in my life. And you need to ask yourself that as well, in my opinion. Because then you can start weighing the things that are not good for you and start doing the things that actually benefits you, you know, that actually have a good beneficial effect on your life, long-term and short-term. And I'm sure we all know what are those things, you know. You with yourself know that if you start gonna do that one thing, you're gonna start feel better, but you're just not doing it because you know, because you can find yourself a lot of excuses why not. Convenience, money, time, you know, whatever. But if you just put all of those excuses aside and start doing those things, I'm sure that your life is gonna look way different. And again, it takes time, and it's not like a 180 degrees change. But gradually, you need to stop doing that, stop doing that, stop doing that. And as time goes by, you're gonna see that your life suddenly way better. You know, you don't wake up tired because of a hangover. Your lungs doesn't itch because you smoke, because you stop smoking, and your head doesn't hurt. You know, you think more clearly about things. You know, when I used to smoke weed, I was just forgetting a lot of stuff. You know, that's another effect that weed has on you. Just forget, like someone tells you something 10 minutes ago and you already forgot it, you know. And suddenly you're gonna see your life just getting better. You know, that's just the way it is. There is no way around it. I really cannot put it in a more clear way, you know. But I encourage you, you know, to just start and think about, why do you do the things you do? And I'll even extend it a little bit, and I'll encourage you to ask yourself, why do I have the friends I have? And why do I surround myself in the social circles that I surround myself in? Does it benefit me? It's yours to decide, but this is a question that I ask myself as well, because at the end of the day, you want to be around the people that are doing good for you, and I always talk about it in the videos. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today, but I am sure you understood the general idea I wanted to tell you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go start my day. I hope you guys have a good day, and if you're not subscribed yet, please do. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.